Welcome into the Miami Heat Report with host Nic Rohloff. Your Miami Heat have a 1-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. What a win on the road in TD Garden. Jimmy Butler came to play, of course. Bam played out of his mind, and my goodness, the role players could not miss from three. We'll break down all the numbers coming up after the Heat stole one on the road. And you see here, man, very evenly matched, 123 to 116 victory for Miami. Assist numbers were equal. Rebound numbers were equal, which honestly was a concern of mine with Al Horford and Robert Williams running a double big lineup for Boston. But Miami was able to control the glass, and honestly, I think that was a big factor in why they were able to hold off the Celtics when they made that little push late in that fourth quarter. But you just look at the shooting splits, man. 54.1% for the Heat, 51.6 from three. That is something that will worry me as we progress through this series, is that they will not be able to sustain those shooting numbers. But my goodness, if they could, we might be sweeping our way back at the Kaseya Center in 4 games. Celtics, 10 for 29 from three. They kind of struggled from three, honestly. Jaylen Brown shot 1 for 6. We'll look at his numbers later on. Tatum didn't really get going from three. You really got lucky in this game against Boston. They shot well from the field, but that was mainly because they were able to get out in transition. 11 turnovers in the first half for Miami, 19 points off turnovers for Boston in the first half, which is why they were able to build that 9-point lead at halftime. But Miami cut down on the turnovers in the second half and was able to dominate that third quarter en route into a large comeback. Now, if you want the Miami Heat to advance to the NBA Finals, you have to subscribe to the Heat Report. Sub for Miami Heat playoff dubs. We had a watch party yesterday with Will Scott and Celtics Today. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Shout out Retro and Brian Gonzalez. You guys are legends. Picked up a lot of subscribers, but I don't want to stop there. Let's keep that upward trajectory going. Can we hit 500 subscribers on this video? I hope so. And if they do, hey, we might be up 2-0 going back to the Kaseya Center. Now let's take a look at Jimmy Buckets, man. 35 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He hit a couple threes, including a massive three with 1 minute to go, up 7. Like 5 seconds left on the shot clock. One dribble pull up on that right wing. Little doop-de-doop, up and in. Big time bucket for Jimmy Butler. And guess what? The number that's not shown on screen that I think was the most impactful in this game, screw the 35 points, 6 steals. Jimmy Butler was a menace defensively, and he really disrupted the entire flow for the Celtics in the second half. His defense is the main reason why the Heat were able to hold the Celtics to, I believe, 50 points in the second half after giving up 66 in the first. That switch, Erik Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, making the adjustments in the from first half to second half, being big dividends in that second half. Bam Adebayo, man, he roasted Robert Williams and Al Horford. They couldn't guard him. Straight up. 9 of 13 from the field, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, all-around game for Bam. He was his normal self defensively as well, creating havoc. The duo of Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo defensively is arguably more dominant than themselves on the offensive end. You've got one of the best wing defenders, and in my opinion, Bam Adebayo, the best defender in the NBA. It's a hot take, but I don't really care. Could be biased. I don't care either. Bam Adebayo has been that dude on the defensive end. And Jimmy Butler and Bam connected a lot on the pick and roll, something we didn't see in the regular season. But Butler was able to find Bam on the baseline for little floaters. Those little 8 to 10 foot floaters were cooking for Bam Adebayo. How about Max Strus? 15 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3. The Strus was getting loose last night. He could not miss in that second half. I mean, one common theme you'll see when we look at these Heat stats. All of them are shooting above 50%. Gabe Vincent, same thing. 3 for 5 from 3, 4 for 6 from the field, 15 points. You guys know if you watched my preview that went out on Monday, keys to victory was good. Gabe Vincent returned. He was good, but these guys could not miss from 3. Let's show Caleb Martin, the unsung hero for the Miami Heat. 15 points as well. 15 points must have been the magic number or something because all of them got 15. And we look at Kyle Lowry too. The role players could not miss. And I want to give a specific shout out to Kyle Lowry. He had 13 of his 15 points in that second quarter. Even when the Heat got outscored big time by 7 in that second quarter, Kyle Lowry kept the ship afloat. He had 13 points. Yeah, you heard that. 13 points in the second quarter. He saved the Miami Heat offensively in that first half. The 9-point lead or deficit at halftime could have easily been 15 if it wasn't for Kyle Lowry. And it brings me to this. I owe Kyle Lowry an apology. I was bashing this dude. I'll be honest. I was bashing him all regular season. He was bad. He's getting paid $30 million a year. 3-year, $90 million deal he got 2 years ago. He was bad. But coming off the bench, this playoff run, yesterday, he's been incredible. And I just got to quickly sign that bad boy because, man, Lowry, we would not be here without his veteran leadership off the bench. Heat lead 1-0. Job isn't finished. Long series to go. If you remember last year, the Heat led 1-0 after Game 1. Now, the only difference is that we won at home last time. This time it's at TD Garden. But let me know in the comment section. Type H for Heat, C for Celtics. Pin comment. So make sure you go check it out and let us know in the comment section. Let's look ahead to Game 2, man. Celtics even more favorites than they were in Game 1. They were 8-point favorites in Game 1. Now it's 9. Over-under did pop up to 215.5. Game 2, Friday night, 8:30 at TD Garden. It's going to be a battle, and I expect the Celtics to come out with an absolute vengeance on their mind, let's say. They just got punched in the mouth at home, or punched in the mouth, excuse me. They're going to want to come out and throw that first punch back. If the Heat want to win Game 2 and go up 2-0, they are going to need to come out with more fire and more of a sense of urgency than they did in Game 1. Because Tatum, he shot 4 times in the second half. Yeah, 4 times. If you expect Jason Tatum to be that quiet in the second half again, you got another thing coming. So I expect Tatum to come back. I expect a better game from Jaylen Brown. He shot 1 of 6 from 3. He won't do that often. The Heat's game plan was interesting. They were living with the threes from Boston, especially from Tatum and Brown. And I think Brown's going to hit more than he's going to miss. So we'll have to see how that goes in Game 2. But if the Heat could somehow win Game 2, man, it's all Gus ahead. We might sweep back at home, winning 2-zip. Going back to the Kaseya Center 2-zip. But we'll have to see. So tune in. We will be live for Game 2 again, live with Will Scott, and I will be on Celtics Today and the Heat Report Live. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tune in. Let's go Heat. Let's take that 2-zip lead.